All right, hello. Hopefully the audio is fixed because I have this thing here. As you can see, I'm in a new location. It's still the same home, but now instead of being in the office is now just in conjunction with the bedroom, and I'm still in the process of moving. It's complicated. Point is, though, new location. If you see any video in the old location, it's obviously recorded in the old location. it's literally just through that door. But you're not here for my apartment. You're here for knives. And so I am. I gotta lower the video. And so here I am talking about knives. Specifically today, the Telesto V1. Thank you, Ted, again for lending this to me. I'm going to ship this back soon. Look at this gorgeous knife. It's got gorgeous jeweling. Let's see, is it? It's not. Yeah, it's kind of. Okay, so this is the Balisong. This is the Balisong breakdown of the Telesto V1. Take everything I say with some sort of grain of salt when you refer to the Telesto V3 because obviously not everything is the same. So, what's the situation? The Telesto is long. Here is the Carlo for reference. It is longer than the Carlo by a wee smidge. A wee smidge. Actually, the handles are a little bit longer. Sorry, I'm covering the thing. Handles are a little bit longer. Blade is also just a smidge longer. So yeah, this is a long Balisong, and for comparison, here's like the Koenig. Koenig is definitely not nearly as long. Here's the EPS 101, also Ted's knife. Ow. And she's long. She's long, girls. She's a long girl. Like me. Anyways, though, the Telesto is also... Fuck! The Telesto is also kind of heavy. And I don't know where my scale is. I'll have to find it at some point. And so the thing about the Telesto is that because it's so long and quite a bit heavy, it makes doing certain tricks like... Fuck. I have to get used to the setup. It makes certain tricks like doing the extended full twirl kind of a lot. But it's a trick that I love. The thing about the Telesto is that it's also it feels evenly distributed, even though there's a lot of milling cut out here. There's like a little bit more weight down at the end, but not so crazy. And so when I do tricks, it doesn't really feel like there are any hot spots or weights, not particularly at least. Let's see if I can... I have to have the microphone here because over there's the bathroom and I need to not have the microphone. What the... That's a weird bright flashlight. This is the jankiest fucking video ever. I'm so sorry, Ted. The Telesto is... It feels very smooth when you flip it. Everything feels pretty predictable. Like, rollovers are, for the most part, pretty predictable. Wow. I'm just flipping like shit today. Ow! Fuck. Thankfully this blade is not sharpened, but it's still pointy. There we go. Also, thankfully, the floor is carpeted in this room, so I don't have to worry about disturbing my roommates anymore. Ah, there we go. Now Telesto can be like, oh, it's under 1,000, but it's still a pretty penny. Like, a lot of secondhand Telestos are like 800. You'll be hard pressed to find a V3 for under 800, at least. Is it worth that much? Like, I mean, it's not worth that much, but when you compare things to like the Carlo, this one is much lighter. I will say this is a lighter Balisong. This is a heftier Balisong. It's like 4.6, but because of how long it is, it feels pretty hefty. This one, I don't know off the top of my head because I don't have my scale, but it is significantly lighter. It doesn't feel nearly as weighty. they both fan pretty decently. So if you like long Balisongs, like the Carlo is also quite long. The Zizix is fairly long. The Icarus is really long, but it feels very distinct. And the Carlo, like, these both feel kind of neutral, but one of them feels heavier, particularly the Telesto. Um, what the fuck am I doing? Jesus fucking balls. Alrighty. Now, to compare it to the Carlo, which is much lighter, it feels also relatively neutral, albeit the grip is a little different. I don't really love the middle ridge, just as it's not the most comfortable. The Telesto, for the most part, feels pretty comfortable because of how it's got huge fucking chamfers. Like, look at these goddamn chamfers are like real long, real fucking wide. And for that, you don't have to worry about like hard edges. All of the chamfers are significantly long enough that you don't really feel much. The inside of the face milling is also pretty smoothly chamfered as well. Decent enough size. So it's relatively comfortable. It is still kind of squarish, despite being somewhat rounded, just because of, I mean, it is square. It's just a rounded square. And I find that it is very satisfying to flip, but it is still more expensive. Oh yeah, my point was that the Carlo is like $650 brand new. I think 650 brand new, and the Telesto might be like 900 brand new. So yeah. Now compared to its Grail brethren, like, I love the Zizix. The Zizix is one of my favorite Balisongs ever. This is also quite a fantastic Balisong. It feels well made. It's got good tolerances. I know that when Telesto first reviewed it ages ago, he said that it felt very kind of basic. And Telestro, the person, wanted to try the Telesto, the knife, because it had such a similar name to him. And I guess it was maybe kind of like the exposure effect, where the more Balisongs you try, the less blown away you are by new ones. I do think this is a really nice Balisong. I would say that I would rather own a Telesto over, like, a Solo, I guess. Which isn't to say the Solo is bad. The Solo is quite good. It's just that the Solo has an alternative that's half the price, aka the Hades. Which you can see. I can now refer to my knife wall. It's that one. It's the Hades. Other knives that are over, like, a grand. I don't know. I feel like the Telesto doesn't have an equivalent that feels quite like it. Yeah, it's long, but other long Balisongs I feel like don't quite have the weight. And so it's good. Will I own one? I don't know. This is on loan from Ted. Thank you, Ted. The V3 has jimping, which the V1 does not. Progress being made. That's great. Which would probably definitely help with ladders, because ladders are a little spooky. While it is titanium, it's so fucking much momentum that you're twirling around like this that it is still relatively probable for this to fly out of your fingers. So jimping will help. Also, this Telesto is thankfully unsharpened, which is nice because I was having a hard time adjusting to this knife, and golly gee, was it spooky at times. And then I realized that it was not sharpened, and I was like, whew, it's still pointy. It's just not sharpened. Ow. Speaking of sharp, I have like a cut on like the joint of my thumb, which hurts. It's like, it's just scabbed now, and I'm just like, owie. So, do I recommend the Telesto? I don't know. My answer is, if you've got cash, if you got that much cash to spend, and you try it and you like it, I think it is like a nice minimalistic, albeit like very polished design. It's very refined design for how minimalistic it is. It doesn't have too much crazy stuff. Mostly just face milling and real big chamfers and a straightforward Tanto with a bit of a curve in the back. A wee curve in the back. And I think this might be machined by JK, but you know, you got like the JK lines on machining. Yeah. Hello. There it is. So, um, yeah, I guess it's like it's pretty good. And if I can get a good deal on a V3, uh, maybe I'll spring for it. But like right now, with how my budget currently is looking, I don't, I don't know. I think there are a lot of knives that are cheaper than the Telesto that I think are really that I think appeal more to me, and there are knives that cost more than the Telesto that appeal more to me. But for where it sits in the price range, I guess if you were to compare it to a Goose, I don't know, they're very different. That's the thing. Because the Goose is opposite, where it has only hot spots. It's like the most hot spot fucking knife to flip. And the Telesto is like really evenly distributed the whole way through. And it's like, it's 4.6 and it's long. I don't know. I guess there's not quite anything like the Telesto in all of the factors. Mostly, primarily it's like the length and the weight and the distribution. And so nothing quite has, to my knowledge, matched the length and the weight that is the same cost, or like less than, and like even if it is the same weight and length, like the Goose, which I don't think is the same weight. It's just very different flipping experience because how the weight distribution is, because the Goose has so much blade weight and end weight on the bottom. So the Telesto, I don't know. Your mileage may vary. It's kind of a cop-out answer, but I don't know. I think it's a really solid knife. I think if I own one, I would be happy owning it, but I could also see myself using it as a bargaining chip, or like, trading chip for bargaining chip. Like, what am I, a fucking James Bond villain? Anyways, using it as some form of collateral to trade for other knives. I really want a Phobos. The price of the Phobos has gone up, mostly because of the ROTP blades. So everyone's like, this is a one of one blade. It's a one of one Phobos because it's only got a unique grind. Anyways, hopefully one day I'll try a V3, and if it's significant enough, maybe I'll keep it. But right now, oh yeah, like I guess the question is the V1 worth like acquiring and getting? And my answer is like, this is pretty good. This is really fun. Yeah, jumping is nice, but if you don't do ladders as much, like I guess it's not the end of the world. Like if you just prefer doing fans, you could fan all day. You want to do rollovers? This thing can do rollovers pretty well just because of the weight. I feel like if it was more butt heavy, then maybe it would have a little easier sticking with certain things. But for the most part, I think the Telesto feels pretty well balanced in everything, just heavy and long. And I keep saying that. Anyways, though, there's only so many times I can say the exact same thing. So if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the other one where I unbox this. Thanks again to Ted Flips. Really nice. He has also lent me the EPS 101, which I will do right after this. So, check out Ted. Check out me. I'm on Instagram, Chelwong Audio. And happy flipping. Stay tuned. Oh, and check out the coffee in the description. It'll help me cover shipping. So, yeah. Have a good one. Have a good one.